So tip number 3 is that perseverance can teach you the value of patience. Now, I'm sure you've heard the saying that patience is a virtue. While that is true, patience can also represent a form of power when used correctly. So the impact of patience when it comes to perseverance is that through the idea of perseverance, you're pushing forward in spite of the issues and situations you're facing, aka the analogy I've used here of pushing through like a snowstorm, a blizzard, or hurricane, and that hurricane representing issues you're going through. I think you need to be patient because every step might actually be a struggle or might be a fight initially. And you being able to persevere means you're slowly but gradually moving forward relative to where you need to go and also past those problems that you're facing. Now, a lot of things people are going through don't get solved in one day. Situations, life circumstances that are not the best, it might take a long time, days, weeks, not even months, sometimes takes years to deal with the issues, the real things that happen, to push past them. And even with Jesus helping you, it could still take time. That's where patience is needed for you to discover the best and most powerful attribute of this, as in perseverance. There are people going through different things like, let's say, daddy issues, anger issues, low self-esteem, fear, or just trauma in general. And I think that you don't get over that in a single day. That's just, I mean, you need to process it properly so you can heal from it properly as well. And sometimes that takes like a lot of time. It takes God helping you through it. It takes therapy sometimes. It takes you being able to be vulnerable and say, I'm not okay and I need the help. It's okay not to be okay, but don't stay there. You got to take it further than that. And then even the point where you also need to be patient with yourself that your healing journey will, not maybe might, will take time. Don't compare it to someone else's because you both are definitely not the same person. And we're not built in the same situation and scenario. Now, linking this back to Tanjiro is that in Tanjiro's case, him learning patience had to come from his training with Urokodaki-san to learn the total concentration breathing technique. That's the technique he needed to actually qualify for the final selection exam. And this technique took time, right? Took time, not months, years. Took a whole, like I think 2+ years to really lock down this technique. And along the way, Tanjiro, we saw it before Sabito stepped in. He was definitely frustrated that he couldn't break past this wall that had shown up that he's like cut the boulder in half. What the heck? And he might have felt frustrated at other points in time that weren't captured in the anime because, again, how many final selection exams happened that he couldn't participate in because he wasn't yet ready? And he had to be patient with himself to say, hey, I'm getting stronger. I'll just keep going until this happens. And when it does, then I can begin and do everything I need to do to save my sister. So that required a lot of patience. Because if he was not patient, he could have easily just quit, gone back to charcoal stuff, and his sister would never be saved or changed, or he wouldn't have achieved the growth he actually got overall. Another point of this is even when he was fighting against Kyogai, the next Kizuki 12, when Tanjiro started to figure out that, like, hey, as they were fighting, when he doesn't step on a piece of paper, which was scattered on the floor at a point in time, Kyogai didn't lash out at him, and he's like, something's up here. I think something's happening here, which is an interesting point he discovered. So as Tanjiro is pressing forward with his fighting Kyogai, he avoids stepping on the papers, and then he's picking up the clues that, oh, maybe paper is important to him, and like maybe the drums are the clue, but it's like, Kyogai's an artist, what? And he avoids those papers despite him being wounded and is able to use that opportunity to be able to score the win against Kyogai. Even after, and I've even complimented him on the fact like, yo, you had some seriously tremendous skills, which Tanjiro wouldn't have figured out if he was not patient with himself relative to the fight and how things were going, because he was feeling frustrated at the start before he rallied and encouraged himself to push forward. Patience is not a skill, in my opinion. I think it's actually more of a lifestyle. But few people on this earth ever truly master it because we want to own our own time. We want things done when we want them to happen, but time is truly not under our control, not in its totality. And I think that sometimes frustrates a lot of people in what they're going through pain, suffering, heartbreak, trauma, different things. And it's not easy, honestly. It's truly not easy. And I think a point here to mention is that as you're trying to push forward and persevere, and you're finding it hard to achieve victory against fear, anger issues, pornography, whatever the case may be, whatever it is you're struggling with, addictions, let's use that as an example. I think there's important things you need to check, like what's happening at this time, what's genuinely happening, looking inside, not necessarily out. Am I where I'm supposed to genuinely be in life right now? What are the skills I need to work on? That's on me. It's not on anybody, not my parents, not my brothers, not my community, like me. The things I need to do. What is actually going on inside my heart that needs to change? What about my perspective and outlook and behavior needs to change to actually influence this for the better? How can I introduce Jesus into the situation to help me? Because you think you're patient. Oh man, go ask your parents if you really are. Go ask your friends if you really are. And then when you hear the answers, you might be shocked. And maybe that will lead you to learn about patience, because patience is such a powerful ability relative to where it'll take you when it comes to perseverance. And linking this way back again to Tanjiro, because again, these situations, these real life situations we talk about, dealing with fear, addictions and all this stuff, they don't get conquered in a day or a month. Sometimes not even a year. Sometimes it's a process. You're slowly healing. And you need to be able to be patient with yourself while this is happening to be able to reach the conclusion of your healing so that you're just so much better for it. And sometimes it can take time. Like I keep saying, like your actual healing journey can take time if you're going through something. You might need therapy, God helping you, good healthy community, and also being patient with yourself as well. That's the case actually with Tanjiro, in that, as you can see, where he wasn't just sitting on his thumbs when things weren't working out. He kept on pushing and pushing with his training with Sabito up until he was able to actually discover a newfound strength, which helped him to now be able to continue and achieve what he wanted to do at the start, which is saving his sister. And I think the big thing is that as you push forward with patience, it changes things. Like you couldn't even believe the stuff you went through. This is Jesus helping you through it, but you couldn't have built that genuine strength if you weren't invested in the process of building. Again, it's not steroids, not an instant shot. This is genuine strength you work out through the endurance that you're going through relative to your situation. And again, patience in God is undefeated. And I think that's why it also matters here relative to perseverance. This is exactly a huge, huge reason why perseverance is such a great idea. And that is tip number 3. So tip number 4 is that perseverance can help you unlock new possibilities. This is so true, because on that journey towards resisting your problems, as in your problems are trying to push you down, and this is you're actually like back and forth type thing. Now that's where I think a lot of strength can genuinely be forged. And that's Jesus helping you to actually have the spiritual foundation to push back and actually push through what's happening in your situation. Hence you actually learning to persevere. And I think it can help you unlock a lot of things you never thought before through the strength you now gain and all these different things. And those things, a number of them are genuinely positive in that you're like, wow, I didn't realize that if I pushed forward, that I actually can get stronger in what's happening. Look at Tanjiro, for instance. Tanjiro was a charcoal burner, came from a family of charcoal burners. And yet, despite the tragedy that happened to his family, he actually unlocked the ability to now become a swordsman, as in pushed to it by destiny. But he actually did the work to learn how to harness the sword properly. And that, I think, is something that was definitely a new possibility for him. And I think the second one is even what happened when Tanjiro went to the final selection. The Hands yokai that had killed all of Urokodaki-san's previous apprentices who came to the final selection exam. Who knew that Tanjiro was going to be the one to slay this specific yokai? What were the odds of that? That wouldn't even have been possible if Tanjiro was not guided on the path of being a swordsman to now say, hey, I know this might be the strongest one here, but I'm going to do the right thing relative to killing the yokai. Yeah. Another example is Tanjiro being able to push past the pain he was in when he was fighting Kyogai. After encouraging himself, rallying, when he adapted to use his water breathing technique to help him move his body more efficiently in spite of the pain, and then land a killing blow. I think that was an amazing possibility that was unlocked by his perseverance, as in he did not give up. He pushed forward in spite of the pain, in spite of the troublesome situation. And I think the biggest example, for the least for this one, is that the new possibility that was unlocked in Tanjiro when he faced much more dangerous enemies. And by that I'm talking about the upper moons, as in, Gyotaro, Daki, Hantengu. These were crazy and immensely powerful yokai who had killed multiple Hashiras throughout the course of their centuries lifespan. And you see that Tanjiro was not guaranteed to win against any of them. But the fact he was in the fight and had the courage to persevere, it's almost like a random factor, if that makes sense, that some weird scenario, I think destiny obviously, came together and opened a very thin path to victory, which would not have shown up if he didn't put his life on the line to make all of that happen and actually push through in spite of the challenges, in spite of the pain, in spite of the setbacks. And again, Hinokami Kagura was hidden in that border of life and death, and Tanjiro would never have unlocked that possibility if he did not persevere during the fight against Rui. Again, what is it that you need to unlock if you were able to persevere through what's happening? And if you allow Jesus to help you in what you're going through, what is a new possibility, new power, new perspective that you could unlock? Something to think about. And I think this very specific tip is one of the reasons why perseverance is such a great idea. And yeah, that's tip number 4. Perseverance can do so much to help you, and it is such a huge thing relative to your growth, and there's different things you can glean from just even these 4 reasons why perseverance is such a great idea. I know I say tips or reasons, but it's essentially going to be something to help you. And I really hope you lean on Jesus for the help, because it's more than just like a mental thing. You need assistance to be pushed through when it comes to perseverance. The spiritual strength is not something you just build because you're a human being. You have a PhD or master's or even a degree. That's not good enough, honestly. There's a lot of other things you need internally, because a lot of the problems you're facing, a number of them are actually internal. And those things are beating you up because they know you're weak. Your degree won't stop them from beating you up. Nightmares, the traumas, all the fears, they don't answer to your degree, but they answer to Jesus. So lean on the help. Don't go it alone. And hopefully perseverance can help you to evolve in the situation you're in. Yeah. And basically that's it for episode 8. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you felt that this was great content, please like, share, spread the word, tell a friend, and we'll move on with obviously episode 9. That will be coming at some point. And basically it's going to be based on this character here. Heart of gold and fire, really noble bearing, powerful skills. Can you guess who that is? Okay. It is obviously Rengoku. So yeah, episode 9 is going to be about Rengoku and some lessons to really get from his own situation and experience. And that should be very interesting. So stay tuned, subscribe if you want to keep track of all these episodes. And if there's anything here that can help you, please put it in the comment section or message me directly. Until next time, have an amazing, blessed week. Catch you later. Peace.